Quantum Inception, The Last Stand. Chapter 1. The quantum anomaly. The universe is infinite, and it is an age-old axiom that anything that can happen, will happen. But what nobody had predicted was the appearance of the quantum anomaly, a mini void in the fabric of spacetime. It was tiny, almost insignificant, but it had the potential to destroy everything. The governments of the world had mobilized their top scientists in a desperate race to understand the anomaly and stop it from spreading. The best of the best were summoned to the Pentagon, where they were briefed by a team of physicists who had been studying the anomaly since its discovery. They called themselves the Quantum Initiative, a team of scientists from different countries working together to solve the greatest mystery of our time. "Is it a black hole?" asked Colonel Ryan, head of the Pentagon's Special Projects Division. "It's not a black hole," replied Dr. Chen, the lead researcher. "It's something far more dangerous. We believe it to be a tear in the quantum field, a rift that links our universe to another dimension." "And what's on the other side?" asked Ryan, his eyes fixed on the screen projected on the wall. "We don't know," said Chen, "but we've detected anomalous energy readings that suggest something is passing through the rift." The room fell silent, as the gravity of the situation began to sink in. The Quantum Initiative had devoted countless hours to studying the anomaly, but they had yet to find a way to control or contain it. "Can't we just seal off the area?" asked General Taylor, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. "It's too late for that," said Dr. Chen. "The anomaly has already begun to spread. We estimate that within a month, it will cover the entire planet." Ryan held up his hand to silence the room. "What are our options?" "We're exploring multiple avenues," said Dr. Chen, "but our most promising line of research involves creating a quantum tunneling device. We believe we can use it to cross over to the other dimension and assess the threat." "But none of us have ever been to another dimension," pointed out Taylor. "That's correct," said Chen, "but we have no choice. We must act quickly, or it will be too late." The Quantum Initiative began work immediately, pouring all their resources into the tunneling device. It was a gamble, but in a situation like this, there was no room for hesitation. As the days passed, the anomaly continued to spread, and reports began to pour in of strange sightings in the sky. Panic gripped the world, as people began to realize that the end was near. But the Quantum Initiative toiled on, driven by an unshakable belief that they could find a way to save the world. Finally, after weeks of intense work, the device was ready. It resembled a large, metallic sphere that glowed with an eerie blue light. The Quantum Initiative stepped into the sphere, their hearts pounding with fear and anticipation. They knew that the stakes were high, and that this could be their last chance to save the world. The sphere hummed to life, and they felt themselves being pulled through spacetime, hurtling towards the quantum rift. As they emerged on the other side, they found themselves in a world that was completely unlike anything they had ever seen before. And that was just the beginning of their journey through the quantum anomaly. Chapter 2. The Quantum Intel. The Quantum Initiative found themselves in a parallel universe, one that was both familiar and strange at the same time. The landscape was dotted with strange, otherworldly structures that glowed with a pulsating energy. The sky was an iridescent blue, and the air was thick with a strange, alien scent. They had entered through the rift at a point not far from the anomaly, and they could feel a strange, gravitational pull. "Everyone, take out your scanners," ordered Dr. Chen. "We need to see what we're dealing with here." The group fanned out, scanning the area for signs of danger. They didn't know what kind of creatures or technologies existed in this world, and they didn't want to take any risks. The scanners returned a flurry of data, but nothing that made any sense. Dr. Chen frowned, trying to analyze the information. "Sir, we've detected some kind of energy readings up ahead," said one of the technicians. "Can you pinpoint the source?" asked Dr. Chen. "It looks like it's coming from that structure over there," replied the technician, pointing to a massive, shimmering structure in the distance. "We have to investigate," said Dr. Chen, already moving towards the structure. It could be the key to understanding the threat. The group moved cautiously towards the structure, their eyes darting around, alert for any signs of danger. As they drew nearer, they could see that the structure was unlike anything they had ever seen. It was a massive, organic-looking structure that seemed to pulse with a strange energy. As they approached, the structure's shimmering exterior began to dissolve, revealing a dark interior. The Quantum Initiative stepped inside, their weapons at the ready. The space inside was vast and cavernous, with strange, glowing crystals jutting out of the walls. In the center of the room was a massive, crystalline structure that seemed to be the source of the energy readings. Dr. Chen approached the structure, her hands shaking with excitement and fear. "Sir, we're picking up something," said the technician. "What is it?" asked Dr. Chen. "A transmission," replied the technician. "It's coming from the structure." Dr. Chen turned to face the others. "Everyone, listen up. We might be able to get some answers here. Let's see what they have to say." She pressed a button on her communicator, allowing the transmission to come through. "Attention, unidentified beings," said a voice in a strange, synthesized tone. "You have entered our world without permission. State your purpose." Dr. Chen took a deep breath, trying to quell the fear rising inside her. "We come from the world beyond the rift," she said. "We are looking for information on the quantum anomaly that threatens our world." There was a pause, and then the voice spoke again. "We have been monitoring your world for some time," said the voice. "We are aware of the anomaly. We can provide you with the information you seek, but in exchange, you must help us with a problem of our own." "What kind of problem?" asked Dr. Chen. "There is a rogue faction within our society that seeks to overthrow our government," said the voice. "We require your assistance in dealing with them." Dr. Chen looked at the others, silently communicating her decision. "We will help you," she said. "But in exchange, we need all the information you have on the anomaly." The voice paused again, and then spoke. "Agreed. We will provide you with the intel you seek. Meet us at the coordinates we will provide, and we will begin our collaboration." The transmission cut off, leaving the Quantum Initiative in stunned silence. "We have to move fast," said Dr. Chen, her mind already working on their next move. "We have a window of opportunity here, and we can't waste it." Chapter 3. The Quantum Escape. The Quantum Initiative had secured the information they needed from their unexpected allies in the parallel universe. But before they could return home and stop the quantum anomaly, they had to deal with the rogue faction that threatened their hosts. The faction, called the Consortium, was a dangerous group of rebels who sought to overthrow the ruling class of the parallel universe. They had amassed a powerful arsenal of weapons, and their operations had caused chaos and destruction throughout the universe. The Quantum Initiative had agreed to help their hosts apprehend the members of the Consortium, but they knew it would be a dangerous mission. The rebels were cunning and ruthless, and they would stop at nothing to protect their cause. The Quantum Initiative set out, guided by the coordinates given to them by their allies. They traveled through the parallel universe, their scanners on high alert. As they approached the location, they could see a sprawling, industrial complex in the distance. The complex was heavily guarded, with strange, insect-like creatures patrolling the perimeter. "We have to be careful," warned Dr. Chen. "We don't want to start a battle we can't win." The group moved stealthily towards the complex, avoiding the guards and keeping to the shadows. They arrived at the entrance to the complex, and Dr. Chen signaled for everyone to prepare for a fight. They burst into the complex, weapons at the ready. They encountered fierce resistance, with the rebels unleashing a barrage of firepower against them. The Quantum Initiative fought bravely, struggling against the enemy's superior numbers. But their skills were no match for the rebels' advanced technology. They were quickly cornered, with no escape in sight. "We have to get out of here," yelled Dr. Chen, her voice rising above the din of the battle. The group retreated to the edge of the complex, their backs against the wall. They were trapped, with no way out. Suddenly, a bright light shone down on them from above. They looked up, squinting against the glare, and saw a ship hovering in the air. The hatch opened, and a figure emerged, beckoning to them. "Quickly, come aboard," said the figure. "There's not much time." Dr. Chen signaled for the group to follow, and they hurried aboard the ship. The hatch closed behind them, and the ship lifted off, soaring into the sky. They traveled through space and time, hurtling towards the rift that would take them back to their own universe. But the rebels were not about to let them escape so easily. "We have incoming," yelled one of the technicians. The rebels had sent a squad of ships after them, determined to stop the Quantum Initiative from returning home. The two ships engaged in a fierce dogfight, evading laser fire and enemy missiles. The battle raged on, each side determined to emerge victorious. Finally, the Quantum Initiative managed to destroy the last of the rebel ships, and they breathed a collective sigh of relief. Without another word, they entered the rift and were whisked back to their own universe. They emerged on the other side, the anomaly looming in the distance. But now, they had the information they needed to stop it, and they were determined to save their world, no matter the cost. Chapter 4. The Quantum Pursuit. The Quantum Initiative had returned from the parallel universe with the intel they needed to stop the quantum anomaly. But they were not the only ones with this information. A rogue military faction had learned of their mission and was now pursuing them across the globe. The faction, known simply as the Directorate, wanted to weaponize the anomaly and use its power for their own nefarious purposes. The Quantum Initiative knew that they had to stay ahead of the Directorate and stop them before they could carry out their plans. They split up into teams, each working on a different aspect of the mission. Dr. Chen led a team that was tasked with analyzing the intel and developing a plan of action. Meanwhile, Colonel Ryan's team was working on finding a way to neutralize the anomaly, while General Taylor's team was focused on securing the perimeter around the anomaly. But the Directorate was always one step behind, and they began to launch attacks on the Quantum Initiative. They hacked into their computer systems, sabotaged their equipment, and even sent hit squads after them. The Quantum Initiative fought back, engaging in daring chases and firefights across the globe. But the Directorate had seemingly unlimited resources, and the Quantum Initiative was pushed to the brink. "We have to find a way to stop them," said Dr. Chen, as her team worked desperately on the mission. "We can't keep running forever," said Colonel Ryan. "We need to take the fight to them." General Taylor nodded. "Agreed. We can't allow them to get their hands on the anomaly." They put their heads together and came up with a plan. They would bait the Directorate, giving them a false lead on where the anomaly was being held. They set up a convoy of decoy trucks, each containing a fake anomaly. The Directorate took the bait, launching a massive assault on the convoy. But the decoys were rigged with explosives, and the Directorate soon found themselves in the middle of a massive explosion. The Quantum Initiative used the distraction to strike back, launching an attack on the Directorate's headquarters. The battle was fierce, with both sides trading blows and struggling for control. But in the end, the Quantum Initiative emerged victorious, having managed to destroy the Directorate's plans for the anomaly. "We did it," said Dr. Chen, surveying the smoldering wreckage of the Directorate's headquarters. "But we're not out of the woods yet," cautioned Colonel Ryan. "The anomaly is still out there, and we need to stop it before it's too late." The Quantum Initiative regrouped and set out once again, their minds focused on stopping the quantum anomaly and saving the world. But they knew that the Directorate would not give up so easily, and that they would be pursued relentlessly until the mission was complete. Chapter 5. The Quantum Confrontation. The Quantum Initiative knew that time was running out. The quantum anomaly was growing stronger by the day, and they needed to find a way to stop it before it was too late. They had managed to evade the Directorate and neutralize their attempts to acquire the anomaly. But they knew that the enemy was still out there, waiting for their chance to strike. The Quantum Initiative moved towards the anomaly, their equipment at the ready. They knew that the anomaly was heavily guarded, with advanced security systems and fierce resistance. But they were determined to stop it, no matter the cost. They infiltrated the facility where the anomaly was being held, moving stealthily through the corridors and avoiding the guards. They reached the heart of the facility, a massive room where the anomaly was contained. The room was filled with advanced machinery and security systems, designed to prevent anyone from accessing the anomaly. The Quantum Initiative moved quickly, setting up their own equipment and preparing to neutralize the anomaly. But they were soon spotted by the guards. An alarm sounded, and the room was flooded with enemy soldiers. The Quantum Initiative fought bravely, using their skills and advanced technology to push back the enemy. But the guards were relentless, and they were soon overwhelmed. "We need backup," yelled Colonel Ryan, as he struggled against a group of attackers. Suddenly, there was a burst of energy, and the guards were blasted back by a wave of quantum energy. The Quantum Initiative turned to see a figure emerging from the shadows. It was Dr. Lee, one of the world's leading experts on quantum physics. "Dr. Lee, what are you doing here?" asked Dr. Chen, surprised to see the scientist in the heart of the battle. "I couldn't let you face this threat alone," said Dr. Lee. "I've developed a new weapon that can neutralize the anomaly. It's risky, but it's our only chance." The Quantum Initiative quickly set up the weapon, their fingers flying across keyboards and screens as they worked to bring it online. The guards closed in, their weapons at the ready. The Quantum Initiative prepared to defend their position against the enemy onslaught. But then the weapon sprang to life, a beam of quantum energy shooting out and hitting the anomaly. The anomaly shuddered and began to destabilize, its hold on reality slowly fading away. The guards were disoriented, unsure of what was happening. The Quantum Initiative took advantage of the chaos, fighting their way out of the facility and to safety. They emerged from the facility, watching as the anomaly disappeared in a blaze of energy. "We did it," said Dr. Chen, breathing a sigh of relief. "We stopped the quantum anomaly." But the victory was short-lived. The Directorate was still out there, waiting for their chance to strike. "They won't give up," said General Taylor, his eyes scanning the horizon. "We have to be ready for them." The Quantum Initiative knew that the fight was far from over. They had stopped the anomaly, but the battle against those who sought to control it would continue. They stood together, ready for whatever lay ahead. They were the Quantum Initiative, and they would do whatever it took to protect the world from the dangers of the quantum realm. Chapter 6. The Quantum Sacrifice. The Quantum Initiative had stopped the quantum anomaly and defeated the rogue factions who sought to control it. But victory had come at a high cost. They had lost several members of their team along the way. The remaining members of the Quantum Initiative were left reeling, struggling to come to terms with the losses they had suffered. But they knew that their mission was not yet complete. There was still work to be done to ensure that no one ever had to pay such a high price again. They set to work, developing new technology and refining their methods. They worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of science and technology to protect the world from the dangers of the quantum realm. But they knew that even with all their efforts, there would always be threats that they couldn't anticipate or prepare for. One day, a new threat emerged. It came in the form of a massive energy wave that seemed to be tearing apart the fabric of reality itself. The wave emanated from a distant universe, threatening to engulf everything in its path. The Quantum Initiative knew that they had to act fast. They gathered their most advanced equipment and set out towards the source of the energy wave. As they traveled through the universe, they encountered strange phenomenon that they had never seen before. "Look out!" yelled Colonel Ryan, as a massive asteroid hurtled towards their ship. The crew scrambled to avoid the asteroid, but they were too late. The ship collided with the asteroid, sending it hurtling towards a nearby planet. They watched in horror as the planet was destroyed in a massive explosion. "We have to keep going," said Dr. Chen, her voice trembling with grief and determination. They arrived at the source of the energy wave, and what they saw was more terrifying than they could have ever imagined. It was a massive black hole, one that was tearing apart the very fabric of the universe. "We have to neutralize it," said Colonel Ryan, his eyes fixed on the black hole. But the black hole was so massive, the energy it produced so intense, that they knew it would take a sacrifice to stop it. Dr. Chen looked around at her teammates, her thoughts racing. "I'll do it," she said, her voice firm. The others protested, but Dr. Chen was resolute. "I have to do this," she said. "It's the only way to save the world." She donned a suit and prepared to enter the black hole, the others watching in horror as she disappeared into the vortex. The Quantum Initiative watched as the energy wave dissipated and the black hole began to shrink. They knew that it had been Dr. Chen's sacrifice, her willingness to give everything for the greater good, which had saved the universe. They returned home, their hearts heavy with grief but also with a sense of pride in what they had accomplished. The Quantum Initiative knew that their work would never end, that there would always be new threats and challenges to face. But they were ready for whatever lay ahead. They were the Quantum Initiative, and they were willing to make whatever sacrifice was necessary to protect the world from the dangers of the quantum realm. Chapter 7. The Quantum Conclusion. The Quantum Initiative had faced immense challenges and threats, but they had emerged victorious thanks to their courage, teamwork, and scientific expertise. They returned home to a hero's welcome, hailed as the saviors of the world for their daring exploits. The members of the team received numerous accolades and awards, but they remained humble and focused on continuing their work to protect the Earth from the dangers of the quantum realm. But their victory had come at a great cost. They had lost several members of their team in the struggle against the quantum anomaly and the rogue factions that sought to control it. The Quantum Initiative held a memorial service, a solemn occasion where they honored those who had given their lives in the line of duty. General Taylor delivered a speech, his voice filled with a deep sense of respect and gratitude. "We owe a great debt to those who have fallen," he said. "Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. They gave everything so that we could continue our mission to keep the world safe. We will honor their memory by never giving up, by never backing down in the face of danger." The members of the Quantum Initiative stood in silence, their heads bowed in remembrance. Dr. Chen spoke next, her voice filled with emotion. "We may have lost some of our teammates, but we gained something more important. We gained a sense of purpose, a sense of camaraderie that will never fade. We will continue to push the boundaries of science and technology to protect the world from the dangers of the quantum realm." There was a moment of silence as the team reflected on the events that had led them to this point. But then they felt a sense of renewed determination, a sense of purpose and vision that would guide them forward in their mission. They set to work, refining their technology, developing new methods for safeguarding the world against the dangers of the quantum realm. And as they worked, they knew that there would always be new challenges on the horizon, new threats to face. But they were ready. They were the Quantum Initiative, and they would never give up in their quest to keep the world safe. The end.